Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And wow, we actually traded for a guy that like 2 years ago I said we should have signed in free agency, and that's Thomas Bryant. If you're an OG of the channel, like a real OG, you'll know like 2 or 3 years ago I was talking and raving about how the Pacers should sign Thomas Bryant in free agency because he was a guy that was not going to go back to the Lakers. Thomas Bryant was a guy that, honestly, when he plays, puts up really good numbers. I'm actually kind of shocked. Like, it's weird. I see a lot of people who have like mixed emotions about this trade. Like we're gonna fucking miss the 2020, like the second round pick swap that we traded for him. It's really weird, man. Some people like don't even give shit a chance. Oh, he's like, he did tear an ACL. Like, I understand that. Like, you know, that I do understand that aspect of it where people are worried about him. However, the guy when he plays gets he's a 15-8 guy. Like, if he's like, I'm just gonna say this, okay? You know how I always say that Miles Turner is like a great value Kristaps Porzingis? Well, Thomas Bryant is like a great value Miles Turner, okay? He is a guy that a couple years ago with the Los Angeles Lakers looked like a guy who was primed to be a 15-8 guy. Then Anthony Davis came back from injury. Thomas Bryant saw a drop in his minutes and got frustrated because he wanted a bigger role, thought he should continue to get more minutes, and I would actually agree with that assertion. Like, he was a very, very good player for the Lakers. Like, if you don't believe me, just go back and look at some tape from when he played with the Lakers. He was very, very good for them. Actually, I can remember my cousin is a huge LeBron fan, so hence he is now a Lakers fan. And I can remember when the Lakers had Thomas Bryant that he was very, very upset in the offseason when they didn't bring him back because he was just such a good player. He's still 27 years old, Indiana product, Indiana University product. He's actually from Rochester, New York, so not only is he a New Yorker, and I'm from New York, but he also played for Indiana University. He was a McDonald's All-American in, I believe, 2015. So he's got a lot of good qualities about him when he actually gets minutes. If you watch this guy play, when he plays about 20 minutes a game, he's a guy that can give you like 13 and 7 and shoot about 40% from three, which is very, very good for a team that has no idea if Miles Turner is coming back or not. And if I were a betting man, the idea that they picked up somebody who has such a similar play style to Miles Turner makes me think Miles is gone. You know, I've kind of been blowing the whistle on this for a little while now for a reason. And I do think, well, I don't think the Pacers are going to be able to trade Miles Turner for another center. I do think that it's very likely he just walks in free agency for more money than we can offer him. And Thomas Bryant is one of those guys where I'd be very shocked to see what he can give you in 30 minutes a game. I think fans would be genuinely impressed once he gets like acclimated and understands the offense and everything. I think Pacers fans will be very impressed with what they get from Thomas Bryant. I think he's better than all the backup centers we've had. I think he's better than Isaiah Jackson. I think he's better than James Wiseman, and I think he's better than Moses Brown. He is a guy that I think just with some opportunity and with how good we are at developing young players, I think Thomas Bryant could be a very, very good pickup for this team and actually a long-term piece for the Indiana Pacers going forward. I don't really like the idea of being in the business of player development, considering we traded for Pascal Siakam and we have Tyrese Halliburton, but the truth is, this team is not going to do anything super crazy in the playoffs this year unless the team magically gets on the same page again and we make a couple trades to shore up our defense, which Thomas Bryant is capable of about one block a game. He's not a lockdown center by any means, but I think he's all right. You know what I'm saying? I think he's good enough to get the job done, and I think that's what matters. I think he's 10 times better than Moses Brown was. I'm a little shocked we didn't make this trade sooner. Actually, like this is like if this was something they were going to do a while ago, I don't know why they didn't do it sooner. Just because Thomas Bryant is a great player. I just actually like the reason I didn't consider Thomas Bryant as a trade target is mostly because I thought Miami liked him. I was like, yo, like there's a reason he's still on their roster, right? And they are a team that is, I think, going in the rebuilding direction. If they're willing to trade Jimmy Butler, I think the Miami Heat are realizing that their championship window no longer exists, and I think that's why they're trading Jimmy Butler. I mean, Bam Adebayo can't make his fucking layups, so I think they've kind of just conceded to, like, this is, you know, like Tyler Hero's playing out of his mind as well. Tyler Hero's stats this year are ridiculous. So, yeah, you know what? I like the pickup of Thomas Bryant. I think Thomas Bryant is a guy that is gonna, like, if you thought, like, I'm just gonna say this, okay? Jalen Smith was a good pickup for us, right, when we traded for him. I think Thomas Bryant has the ability to be better than Jalen Smith was for us. I think, I actually think Thomas Bryant is more of a shooter than Jalen Smith was. Don't think it's going to be on high volume, but it's just the idea, like, I think he's kind of the same player that Jalen Smith was, just at the center position. And he's got, like, this crazy wingspan. I think he's got, like, a 7'4" wingspan. Thomas Bryant's a guy I'm definitely going to be interested in watching. I think the front office is once again finding a diamond in the rough here. And I'm just, like, regardless of what you think of this trade, I know there's going to be people who bring up the injury concerns and the idea that he doesn't play and there's a reason for that and so on and so forth. I think with how good Indiana has been at developing young players, or at least finding some type of untapped potential in their centers, like there's a reason they've been going after young centers. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason they brought in James Wiseman. You know, like I understand we need a backup center. I understand also that, like, I don't even really know where I just completely lost my train of thought. But it's just like there's a reason they keep going after centers. Like there's a reason they offered DeAndre Ayton the contract they did. There's a reason why they signed James Wiseman. There's a reason now why they've traded for Thomas Bryant. It's because regardless of what you think of Miles Turner on the Pacers and as at the center position, as a center, what have you, the front office realizes that at this point that Miles Turner is not a part of their long-term success. And I hate to say that, but that's like the front office has been trying to trade this dude since they picked him up, and it's simply because he doesn't rebound. And he's really not a great one-on-one defender. But the thing is, if you can kind of supplement what he brings to the team in a guy like Thomas Bryant, who is going to cost you a fraction of what Miles Turner is going to in free agency, then I think you run with that. I think that's a good insurance policy for Miles Turner. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the closest thing you're going to get to insurance policy on Miles Turner without calling Geico, okay? Like, that's where I'm at on this shit. So, I'm just going to be honest. I think everybody needs to give it some time. I think everybody needs to see how he plays first before we make any crazy assertions. But he, I think, is going to be a good player. I think he's going to be solid. I think he fits the whole spacing the floor model for the Pacers very well. And honestly, with a floor spacing big, you kind of want that in the backup center position, not exactly at the starting position, unless you have a Giannis Antetokounmpo or a LeBron James to speak of, or a Luka Doncic, which we have none of the three. So we do have a Tyrese Halliburton, but, you know, this team struggles with rebounding. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a guy that goes down there and, you know, does all the dirty work. So I like it. I actually kind of excited for it. Like it's for me, it feels great because I'm like, wow, a guy that I brought up like 2 or 3 years ago, the team is actually traded for, and now they're actually gonna like, we're gonna see how this would have worked. Probably I think it's gonna work out phenomenally. That's just my personal opinion. I don't want to get anybody too excited, but I think Thomas Bryant's gonna shock a lot of people. I really do. I think the Pacers are gonna give him. Maybe, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but if he gets like 15 minutes a game, if they'll give him like 15 to 18 a game, or it's not going to be 20 or 30, but if it's 15 15 to 18 minutes a game, I kind of like it. I think you're gonna be, if it depends on what his minutes look like, but if he gets 15 minutes a game, 15 to 18, you're gonna see a player you definitely like. That's all I'm saying. I think he's a relatively consistent player as well. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. I think it's a good pickup. I like the idea that all we gave up is a pick swap. Like, that's the other thing, man. Like, Obi Toppin was a guy we traded 2 second-round picks for, I think. Jalen, what did we trade for Jalen Smith? Torrey Craig, I think, on a second-round pick or something. And now we get Thomas Bryant for next to fucking nothing. A second-round pick swap. A second-round pick. We got this dude essentially for free, okay? And he's a guy that I think gonna be nice. I think he's gonna be a nice fit. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.